So there's code on screen, pause if you need to. We'll explain it really quickly, but I'll explain it more later on, so pause if you need to look at this part. Hey, guess what? It looks exactly the same, except this is for the old god, and this is for the quote-unquote status effect. But it's more like a curse. It is a curse file, which the difference between the two lines of code is that the bottom lines are put right underneath this one because I'm treating it as an injury that you can treat for gameplay purposes. So pause if you want to look at this code as well. Otherwise, we're going to be switching to the game and we'll get a move on. So if the thumbnail doesn't give it away, because I don't know what Future Jordan me is going to do, we're going to hit quick play and play with a base character this time. But we will be playing with a different old god with, well, it turns out 3 custom mysteries as well and 7 curse. But as we get into this Mimi run, this might even be worse for Mimi, but it's after some brainstorming. I think this is going to be the effect I kind of play with. I'm going to be adding an event where I want to add an event, because otherwise, there's not really much to interact with as much. I need to repeat that because I really like the idea of interacting and giving the player more choices, which I'll explain in a moment. So, as we get to no shackle, sorry, that's how you pronounce it. 7th curse, 3 custom mystery random item stats. Before we even start anything, because obviously, I mentioned in the last video, if I didn't mention it, I'm basically making this graphic right now, and I'm not happy, which is why you see the draft instead. Something to note is that this does, if you draw in this part of the old god, it will cut off any text if you make the rule effect longer here. I tried to add a line break, but I'm going crazy, and I only spent like an hour doing this, so yeah. But as we actually get into the run, so here's technical difficulties. I didn't add a graphic for this yet either because I wasn't happy with it. And so, but the effect is as shown. It's similar to what you saw in the last video about this, but the difference is this is an injury, or I'm treating it as an injury. That way you have some idea, or some, I guess, interactive elements. That way you're not just getting slapped with -1 reason at a 15% chance. You can choose to 1 prick it, but this is overall going to be 5 stamina damage, because when you prick, you know what, we're just going to do it here just to show. This always appears, so I could make it so that you don't prick it. There are, if you didn't see the code at the very beginning, you can add effects to prick treatment options, I believe. I need to look at that really. Yeah, you can add options to that, so I don't have to do it. In fact, I could get rid of I can undo the total 3 stamina loss, but I did want pricking it to, pricking the technical difficulties injury away to cost overall 5 stamina damage. Although I could give you back 1 max stamina, so shrug. But as we get knowledge, strength, 2nd mystery, Takshisan light, and maybe a 2nd encounter check, every single non-stat check, strength, and knowledge perfectly for Mimi. But whether or not we survive this run is a whole different story. Also, something to know here is I think I spent the most time trying to format this text in the most concise way I could without going over it, because otherwise if the text is too long, it just goes down through the box, which is not great, but shrug, right? And as for being Mimi, we scalpel our way to victory. So without further ado, as we continue onward, and I mean, if you want to prick the technical difficulties away, something that I did forget about in the moment was that when you prick it away, you can just heal the stamina, but that's still a lot of stamina damage, I feel, to take overall. You are overall losing 5 stamina damage, so you have to find some way to deal with it. Also, we only have 3 spots, so this is something to also note if you are creating custom mysteries specifically, is that this can happen. Now, I only have 5 custom mysteries loaded up, but if you add in more, I think up to 3 can hold 2, and maybe the other 2, because there's a max custom mystery limit. I don't remember though, but correct me if I'm wrong. Otherwise, we're playing with Taxi, YEW, Botanist, Bloom, and Ramen, which is an interesting combination of mysteries. Well, 3 are kind of standard, except for Botanist 2, because Forest. But let's get rid of Botanist first. So, yeah, the main pretty much mechanic, or how I'm basically going to plan to balance this god is around the technical difficulties injury. Yes, I could just call it a curse, but I wanted to be able to treat it more as an injury. And you could, I forgot where my max threat level location was. It was downtown. I could have just made it, an actual curse that you get rid of, but you can also treat an injury. Again, PERM allows you to do that. Here's your occasional disclaimer that this only exists on PERM, as I fail my 15% and get technical difficulties here. But I forgot what I was talking about because I need to get rid of this. So, yeah, we can doctor it away. You can also enable surgeries as well. That way, maybe you want to add an effect to surgery. So that's if you're already wondering, Jordan, why you just mentioned that you can surgery and add treatment. Why would I choose surgery when it costs 2 funds as opposed to treatment that costs 1 fund? It's because for perm specific status effects like injuries there or anything that you can treat, most things have a called again. If you saw the code at the beginning, it has prizes code. So for example, what's it called? I want to get it right. Yeah, treat prizes, bandage prizes, medical kit prizes, surgery prizes. And that's essentially your ability to add an effect for good or for bad to those using those actions. So if I treated an injury and for 1 fund, I could make it do nothing and then have the surgery option, though it costs 2 funds, heal like 3 stamina, which is probably something I could do. But then I usually want to add more text to warn the player something that can happen. Although that would be more fitting the lines of a knowledge check. We're going to gamble here, by the way. Yeah, knowledge check, which means I don't need to add the text for people, for players and people who... My 15% chance. By the way, this is 15%, by the way. It is coded correctly. I literally copy-pasted the code, so what you saw at the beginning of this video is the code that we're playing with right now. But, shrug, right? But anywho... yeah, not really much else to say. Is there a way... I should have tested this out, but I might as well ask because I don't know if I'm going to be... if I'll remember to do this, but when you treat... This is for veterans, but this is a question for veterans, but you can follow along if you're not, just if you want to work with your own brain. But, so when you treat an injury or surgery, you get a random status effect. I believe... I was wondering if it's possible to basically negate that. The band-aid, that fix I'm thinking of is basically just to remove that status effect, because most calls for injuries and curses and status effects are literally the name, so you just put the name down and say you want to remove something. Although, I mean, I'm sure it's possible somehow. I'm just trying to guess. I might as well throw out a guess and just see. Otherwise, I could just test this out myself and see what works, basically. As it turns out, I like to brute force a lot of things, if that wasn't already apparent. But I think we have a stack of technical difficulties. So kind of just go over the base thing. Yes, these do stack. I did test this out. I mean, it should be self-evident. But if you don't know any perm or custom content World of Horror thingy-mabobs, then effects like this, if you have multiple of usually stacks of a status effect, they can all proc. Well, actually, never mind. Forget what I just said. In perm, they can all proc separately, basically. So if I had 3 stacks of technical difficulties, it is possible for me to lose 3 reason in 1 investigation because of all 3 proccing their reason loss. But we're going to walk forward for the moment, just gamble on 15%. I could just treat it, but... Actually, you know what? We'll treat it just to kind of show what I was talking about earlier. So if I treat this and say I get blood loss, it's randomized, so I don't know if there's a way to just blanket negate what happens there. Another band-aid fix was just to have the player allow, like, say, because you can add a use option to curses, I believe. I'm pretty sure there's an option. I'm not pulling up that ETO file for some reason. Never mind, I don't have technical difficulties. But pretend this is technical difficulties. You can enable, say, the use option, or even have the inspect option do something. So... basically, I can circumvent the treatment and surgery options, but then you would be able to use it anywhere as opposed to entering the doctor's office. So there are little pushes and pulls there. I can't use words at the moment because I'm a little tired. So if me just kind of autopiloting and not paying attention right here doesn't mean anything. So again, yeah, these both can proc separately. Now, am I going to be unlucky enough? Because that literally, it actually does literally require, I'm saying literally for specific purposes here, they can both proc, and that would be 2 15% in a row. So, shrug, right? But anywho, and the reason I say I know for sure is because no, I did not sit around and try to proc 3 to 4 stacks. I literally just made the proc rate like 99% and then just watch them all proc. That's how I know you can certainly for sure, without any bugs, at least it's for bug testing reasons. But as we are just taking a bunch of doom in the face, and I can just do desperate struggle my way out on this turn. Yeah, just to let anyone who doesn't know, yes, they do stack. Now, actually, no, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say because I already forgot what I wanted to say. But shrug, right? We're gonna hope for folklore study so we can heal. We are in taxis at the moment, so we do need to be careful. And we now do have 3 stacks. By the way, we only did 2 mysteries, so in about, we'll even say 14 investigations, I proc 15%, more than 15%. What would 15% 14? Of like, what? Let's just say 3. And I procced at least 4 or 5 technical difficulties. So this is essentially an old god out for my own heart, made by me. So I should really just be screaming my own name when I just get affected by 3 stacks. Now it's 15%, so pretty much 50-50 that I get even 1 stack of technical difficulties. Probably even better than that in my favor, but shrug, right? So... And here's the, I mean, I guess we will treat some of them because I don't want to stick with the 50%. The problem is, when you do that, you get status effects like blood loss and badly bruised, which are not treatable. So most of them go away, but obviously blood loss has a problem here. I'm rolling 19, and just to prove that I'm rolling badly here, I added this rolled option. This is literally the roll that I made versus how much I would need to surpass to have the effect happen, basically. So I'm just sitting here watching my reason go. Thank goodness this doesn't proc in linked events. I'm pretty sure, right? Well, anywho, drive right through, blah blah blah, and let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. We should use the gun at some point, but off we go. I forgot to use the cigarettes, by the way, but we're just gonna have to do this for the moment. Bloated doesn't really do anything, thankfully. Roll badly, but fair RNG, and let's fight these cars, question mark? So off we go. I'm pretty sure I was told that the I'm trying to figure out what I want to say if I want to, how to say what I want to say. Also, we're dealing with a 40 plus HP turbo. Basically, your performance during this car chase affects the battle here. Now, obviously, it can also affect a quicker ending by just crashing the taxi, but that's another thing to think about entirely. Now, my next question is, can I desperate struggle out of here? What are my odds? 76%? We need to hit both of them, so I'm just going to spread out the RNG, because overall that's going to be better, but we will do that, and we did miss, so shrug. I do regret not using the pack of cigarettes, but at least we get an ally out of this. Actually, are we on 7th curse? We are, so we can't even use that. Never mind. Every time I usually get that, so if you didn't know, this is a PERM specific status effect after the custom mystery taxi as well. If you use this, you're supposed to be able to get an ally. Unfortunately, we're on 7th curse, so grabbing this ally, which I think it's Aotori here, yeah, Aotori just gets booped by 7th curse, so off we go. We're going to put on some new duds, and let's see, I think it's, yeah, all custom mysteries left. We take you now because bosses, possibly. I think we can just we should probably just bloodlet this tree, but we'll see how healthy we are at the end of all of this. Now, keep in mind, I think we can also accept, now I would have liked to have seen if I could do that, but because the game said nah, I guess we just live with 2 dexterity. Oh, goodness gracious, barge in. Why do stats matter? We're just gonna gamble here. This I will do a front-loaded because, yeah, I was thinking, I thought we did get bonus damage here. That's why I was like, I might as well get 5 damage and maybe we gamble next turn on a desperate attack strong if things go badly. They didn't, and I get 20 experience from that. Anywho, quick thinking plus, oh, actually folklore studies, so we can do our thing, do the lighthouse. I kind of went vague there because I just remembered that I have second encounter checks, maybe if we have this explore the lighthouse. Otherwise, we have a bunch of, we have all the non-standard, non-stat checks. I'm going crazy. But anywho, I think we still have 2 stacks of technical difficulties. Yeah, we do. So about a, I'm just going to ballpark it, 22% chance to proc a reason loss, but we're gonna live with it because I'm running out of funds. This is on a 7th curse run, by the way, so yeah. But again, it's not like this old god is out publicly, so I'm pretty much play testing the old god as I am making it. So consider the future. Stats still don't matter in 2026, and we hope for the best. Now, I'm not saying it needs to be fair. I do say that mostly in jest, but at the same time, I am super dying. So, I'm so sad. Let's see here. What do we do? we have things in the thingy. I didn't put on the map either because why not? But do we have? Please tell me we don't have fetid fumes. Okay, we don't. I mean, I could have told by the icon, but I just wanted to go over just to make sure. We're gonna rest twice here, and we just move on and try our best. I think this I don't remember what the U tree does. We're just gonna actually just investigate the tree and fight. So it is all damage, but we get to Tatsumaki Senpukyak with the scalpel onto the tree. We also get bonus damage, so we're just gonna go full all-out auto attack. And at this point, I think this is guaranteed. Did I lose damage somewhere? This is 9. Actually, no, this is guaranteed because we do 2 attacks guaranteed, and we get 7 health. Do we have an injury or something? Why my damage? Anywho, road's closed. That's, well, let's just keep moving forward then. Probably want to focus Reason here. I don't have any much more ways to heal Reason aside from a lucky maybe thingamajiggy. Now, thankfully, we aren't proccing Reason lost yet, but we can lose up to 3 Reason just on a dime because we have 3 stacks of technical difficulties. I think we did proc it, right? So it's not like it's bugged at the moment, so here it is. I also got drenched from my trouble, so, and we also, I was about to say, did I get a 4th stack of technical difficulties? My goodness. Well, speak of the technical difficulties, and I swear I'm not memeing when I named it that. It's just pain. Well. I don't think I could even fight this, no, but we can't run from this? Haspin! Unless I magically have a swollen ankle, which I don't, so... Well, I should have smoked the cigarettes then. Probably still would have been great to smoke the cigarettes now, but now I need to now because we are going to die to reason loss if we don't. So, without further ado, time to do a drum roll as we do our best to survive. 24 power, I don't think I'm at 100%. No, we're not. So, am I benefiting from nicotine withdrawal? No, I'm not. Oh, it's drenched. It's because I'm drenched. Ooh. Well, hey, this is real, right? I'm not, no, I'm just gonna do it. If I did my math wrong, so be it. I missed the attack! I missed, what, wait, what were the odds there? 93%? I'm not gonna cut myself off because now I'm curious. Well, I'll look in the footage and I'll probably just mention something later on. But without further ado, well, I guess it is what it is. I'll see you in the next video!